I'd like everyone to quickly introduce yourself. So maybe from my seat, Sunil-san first.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, GFTN, for giving us this opportunity. My name is Sunil Kulkarni. I'm originally from India, from a city called Pune. I'm in Japan since 1997. I came as an engineer and then jumped into entrepreneurship. I started as an IT services firm, and we do a lot of different things. But 2 years back, we went public in India on the NSE exchange, SM exchange. So while everybody knows about Maruti Suzuki as a success story between Japan and India, we are a small, tiny success story between Japan and India. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. And Homma-san, お願いします。
Hi, good morning. My name is Masahiko Homma, the founder and general partner of the Incubate Fund. The Incubate Fund is the largest seed and early stage tech VC fund in Japan. And we do have the very active investment into the India market as well since 2016. Touch on the issue on the fintech. Besides the normal venture capital activity, we manage the corporate venture capital together with SMBC, the Sumitomo Business Banking Corporation. It's a fintech focus fund in the 200 million size to actively investing into the leading fintech startup in India, including the M2P, Bayana, Easy Form Finance, and Modify, and such company, and they are really actively investing in that field. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. ありがとうございます。And Mr. Sumnesh, Deputy Director General. So please tell us about yourself.
So, good morning, everyone. I am Sumnesh Joshi, working with Government of India in Ministry of Communication. And I had 13-year plus experience in telecommunication, installing all the telephone exchanges and long distance and internet. And then 13-year experience with the digital identity project of India, so-called Aadhaar. It's one of the acclaimed projects across the globe. And then my passion has generated during my digital identity journey. So I am passionate about all the fintechs. So last 13-year plus, I am interacting with all the BFSI fraternity to find out what are the innovative ways we can make application and deliver the service in a seamless and effective manner. So this is my introduction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And today we have a topic, technology, innovation, and investment. Let us start with the investment part. So the Homma-san. So you have been, investing in startups in India since 2016. You mentioned that. So would you like to know the technology trend or startup trend in India? Could you please tell us about it?
Okay. Initially, we made a lot of investment into the B2B commerce space in India. Of course, including the payment and the fintech in the course of this B2B transaction. One of the fast growing portfolio company of my firm is among everything in the Japan, India, Southeast Asia, US. The fast growing company is from India, which is called Captain Fresh. Is a B2B commerce company to connecting the retail store and the fishery and the fisherman market. They are global. They started from India and Bangalore, but already expanding a really global base in Europe and the US. So such was our initial investment focus. But recently, given let's say the acceleration of the technology and of the AI, for instance, we see many of the growing trend in the AI, for instance, many BPO or the technology hub, beside Mumbai and Pune or the Bangalore, and we see many of the technological centers setting up to accelerate the AI technology adoption into the Indian market. This is a really good, I think, in the trend opportunity we are seeing. And also, given that we have many investment into for instance, the variable technology startup in Japan, including the outer space technology and the semiconductor and the quantum computing. As such of the deep technology, and also that we can see many similar trends we see in the Indian market. For instance, India is one of the leading the space technology industry from the India, and also the many of the great talent, not necessarily for the AI and the software space, but for the, let's say, semiconductor and the hardware space as well, given the really good the connection with the US and the India corridor, especially as for the talents. So that's, I think that we will diversify more investment into the India as for the coverage of the technology, not necessarily for the pure B2B payment stuff, but for the more diversified, deep, and the frontier tech space as well.
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much. And Mr. Sumnesh, so India is a government also pushing promoting the startups in India, and the startup India is everybody knows. So now you have more than 100 unicorns. I think it's about 10 times bigger than Japan in terms of number of the unicorns. So how do you support or how do you see the startup trend in India?
Yeah. So can I have the presentation, please, here?
Oh, you wanna?
So thank you very much. So I will just, in brief, I will take you through that what transformation are taking place in India and how it is going to benefit the Indo-Japan corridor and further, investment in the India. So, and as already Ambassador told that our Prime Minister has termed the decade 2022 to 2032 as a decade that is a decade driven by the digital technology, is a technological driven. So we are focusing that how we can grow our economy and Viksit Bharat, that already 30 trillion economy by 2047, and among the 3 global economies by 2030. And what is the focus in India is to empower all the citizens living in the remote hinterland. And we call it Antodaya, that is the last mile beneficiary. Using the technology, we have to empower them. And as you know that even the UN Sustainable Development Goal 16.1 say that by 2030, we have to provide a legal identity for all, including the birth registration. Because identity is the key that if you want to grow an economy, first or foremost, identity comes. Unless until identity is there, we can't do anything. We can't take all the people in the economy. And then we came with the concept of the Aadhaar. Everyone is aware that 1.4 billion are having the Aadhaar. It is a digital identity based on the biometric deduplication is the foundational ID, and it is along with other service and schemes. And typically in the fintech sector, it's really changed or transformed the way we are delivering the services. So it is a digital online verification platform to enable residents to prove their identity for service provider to confirm that the residents are who they say they are. And the best part is recently a Gazette notification has come from the government of India that even the private sector can use this authentication platform to verify the identity. So it's really a welcoming step. So there's a process. So all the companies who are interested to provide the services can make use of it. And then with the Aadhaar, it's the financial inclusion. That's the bank accounts. We opened the last 10 years. More than 60 million bank accounts we have opened. And the best part is, maybe, I don't know, nowhere in the world, this digital identity, this Aadhaar is acting as a permanent financial address. So government is transferring the entire subsidy or any benefit to the financial address that is the Aadhaar identity. There is no bank account detail or no IFSC code. It's the consumer choice to say, okay, I want benefit in X bank, then they have to link their Aadhaar with the X bank. And there's an architecture called Aadhaar Payment Bridge is available, and it's flowing into the bank account through the Aadhaar as a financial address. And then, because bank accounts are there, everyone is having the bank account, so UPI, everyone is aware, and I think the last 2 days, many speakers have spoken about that the QR code, even the low ticket transaction, 1 rupee, 5 rupee, through this QR code people are making, and more than 20 billion transactions in a month are happening through the UPI. And then lastly, there's again Aadhaar-enabled payment system, the kind of digital ecosystem we have created. Even you are not having the smartphone with you, no credit card, no debit card, nothing, you are empty-handed, but you can do the banking. Simply punch in the Aadhaar number, give your biometric and withdraw the money, transfer the money. So this is a very powerful thing that is working in the remote area of India, and many people are getting the cash from the business correspondent using this Aadhaar-enabled payment system. And then again, if any company wants to start any service application, what you want larger base, geography. So for that, connectivity is critical. If you are not having the connectivity, there's no use of the technology, how to reach out. So we have the nationwide mobile coverage. It's not only the coverage, but the high-speed 4G connectivity is available. And even the 5G also, we have carried out one of the fastest rollout in the world, and we want to have the 5G across the country. And parallelly, there are remote villages where no connectivity at all. They're using the Make in India technology. We are providing the 4G services by March this financial year. And another thing, yesterday I was listening to one of the speakers that we are talking about all infrastructure, maybe road and transport or the logistic, but what companies need today, it's a digital highway, because that is a one foremost requirement. So for that, India, all the villages, 200,000 plus gram panchayat, or we call villages, are connected through the optical fiber, and for the remaining villages, last village, we are going to connect in the phase 3 to ensure the last mile connectivity, so you can have a fiber connectivity, high speed everywhere across the country. And then next part is affordability. 10 years before, we were importing the mobile phone, because mobile phone is nothing but a smart device which we are using at the last mile to consume the services. And then it was very expensive. But with Make in India, Manufacturing India, so now 99% are Make in India. Earlier 98% we were importing. And cost of a smartphone is just around $50. This is how we have empowered the last mile person to consume the service in a digital manner. Then you can see the lot of digital public infrastructure, right from the identity, then the UPI, DigiLocker, that all the documents for the KYCs are there. Bhashini, that is a language translation, that like Google Translation. Open network digital commerce. It's not a propriety that Amazon or the Flipkart or any other proprietary sort of platform. It's the open platform one can use. So all buyer, seller, everyone can just hook in this platform and use. And the National Health Registry, account aggregator, so consent-based mechanism, one can fetch the bank statement, all the financial data. Of course, it's the consent-based. And the e-sign, that is, can you imagine that I can open my pension account simply in 1 minute by using Aadhaar electronic KYC and signing the agreement on the fly on the e-sign. I don't need a digital dongle. It's simply an e-sign I am doing. So this is the digital ecosystem we have created. Now it's a time to innovate or use or reap the benefit. So for all the Japanese audience, we say that because in coming time, there's IoT, AI/ML, blockchain, and 5G, right? So we have set up 100 5G labs across the country. You can take the benefit of those labs, all the startup, academia, industry, and how you can create more innovation using the IoT and fintech-related things. And so data-driven ecosystem already in place. Our objective is to give actual true digital manner, the paperless, cashless, and the presence-less delivery. And because it's a data-driven economy, everyone is scared about the privacy, the data privacy. So we are already having the Digital Personal Data Protection Act passed. This is the initiative already taken by the Government of India. Act has been passed, and rules are under this consultation, and very soon we are going to publish the rules also. And last but not least, it is all across world. This is a problem that we have to tackle. It is the need of the hour. Any company or working with the digital data, the cyber security and the data protection, it is required to ensure a safe digital system. So for that, Ministry of Communication has come up with a novel idea, and application, we call it Sanchar Sati application to combat all the fraudulent call and messages, because people are getting all the suspected calls or the spam messages, phishing messages, and particularly in the fintech industry, it is really a problem because last mile person, maybe they are earning say $1,000 and maybe the $100 went away. What to do? So we are using the AI-driven fraud prevention measures that because mobile is the critical. So we give the SIM, that is the mobile, after validation, proper validation of the KYC. And in the legacy data, we have weeded out all the, the SIMs which have taken in fraudulent manner using the AI technology and face authentication. And again, the reduction of the spoofed calls. That is, calls are coming from the abroad and with the Indian numbers that we have tackled. So it is now reduced from 100 million to 14 million. So this is the kind of, the ecosystem we have created, a new game changer, the face authentication. And whosoever has visited India, you see the airport, there's a face where Digi Yatra, and or the senior citizen for the pension certificate, people are coming to the home. So all these things we have enabled, and there are many applications of digital public good infrastructure one can think. And finally, I want to say that there is a digital ecosystem is ready, it is robust, and it is created India thriving investment destination. And there's a gift city in the state of Gujarat. The International Financial Services Authority is there, which is facilitating the investment. Whosoever wants to, come to India, they are ready to facilitate. And now Indo-Japan corridor, as Ambassador already said, it is a key avenue for the global partnership and Indo-Japan relationship. There's no need to say that it's a very, very old, already told by the ambassador. So we have to just nurture it and make this India-Japan corridor the best corridor in the world, using the infrastructure created by India in the digital ecosystem. So embracing technology for an inclusive future, strengthen this global partnership, and we have to commit a prosperous and empowered India along with the globe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the explanation. So we understand that India is making huge progress in digital connectivity. And then investment is coming and digital infrastructure is ready.
Yeah.
Still, the cross-border collaboration requires the deeper understanding of culture or business differences, right? From the industry perspective. So bringing these gaps is essential for creating long-term relationships. So you have worked with cross-border teams. So can you share a specific example where India-Japan collaboration went really well or face challenges? How do you solve?
Hello. Yeah, so as I mentioned, thanks. Working between Japan and India, of course, both come from different cultures. Both are far extremes in geography terms as well in Asia. Far East is Japan, far South is India. And then both countries have different working styles. I'll just share, meaning, of course, the industry is huge and there are different nuances. I'll just share some of my learnings or my experience, how I learned in Japan and what helped me, what helped, yeah, I'll just. So again, today, yesterday, last 2 days, you must be hearing companies talking about unicorn, $100 million, $500 million, coming from a Showa Jidai kind of a guy. Today, I feel like if you are doing a $1 million company, $5 million company, created 50 jobs, still, I think you are a successful entrepreneur. So I think when I came to Japan, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I think I wouldn't have succeeded if I wouldn't have started in Japan. So for any Indian entrepreneur, ASEAN entrepreneur, I would recommend coming to Japan and work between Japan and India. It's a grind. I mean, even in Jesper Cole's last panel discussion, they were saying Japan is a tough market. It's highly competitive, but nevertheless, it's good. So I started in Japan first, then I started in India. Don't ask me why, because those days there are these startups, mentorships, and these kind of words were not there. So we were like struggling to find ourselves. But what I learned in Japan is we would deliver high-tech or technical services with the last mile delivery in local language, which is Japanese. And that helped us to specialize. We saw this could be specialized and taken to, say, ASEAN, where again, last mile delivery is in local languages. In India, with, let's say, banks, when they send SMS, when they send some passbook printing or whatever. Again, last mile delivery is required in local languages. So we took that as a specialization and went public 2 years back. So this is a small plug for us. If you invest in India, please look at this ticker symbol Fidel, and please do invest in us. But yeah, so possible things, reasons, I think success is, Japan is a very high trust society. Again, if you see that in growing economies like India or in ASEAN, wherever, I think collection of money is, when you give a service, collection of money is very difficult. It takes time. But in Japan, you raise an invoice, and if the terms are 45 days, 60 days, 30 days, on the 30th day exact, you get that money. Again, that helps in managing your cash flows. Or it's a society where if you show your intentions are good, or if you are willing to learn, you get a chance. So for example, there were initial days when we would be delayed in paying, say, rent, or delayed in getting payments to our vendors. But if you meet them, I would meet them and explain them, and let's say I have to pay $1,000,000 instead of that I'm paying 200,000 yen. That intention that this guy is willing to pay, and this guy is a bootstrap guy, banks are not giving this guy a loan, but that intention helped us pass that, and the vendors or clients were kind and considerate enough. So, or sometimes you say that we have not done this part, say, let's say embedded design, but customers would give you chance. So these things, I think, work in Japan. Some other factors that I feel, if you are looking at Japan business or India business, especially in Japan, one has to localize, one has to adapt. And this doesn't mean that localize in terms of language. If you just go to any website of any company in Japan, you'll see the capital mentioned there, the banks mentioned there, sample customers and services. In India, I think because that helps them to understand who you are or what standpoint. But in India, sometimes if you say, hey, can you let me know your capital, people suddenly, or entrepreneurs might say, hey, why do you need all that information? Or I don't want to give that information. But if you want to do business with Japan, I think that kind of helps, that establish trust. You have to invest. Here, everything is long term. So in Japan, the average age is 85, 90 years, or 100 years. So when I was 35 or 40, I would go and ask my customers. They would say, why you are so much rushing into things? Make mistakes till you are 50. After 50, you can get serious about your business. But in India, if you are 50, people already start talking about grandchildren, and you should retire now, and what are you doing? Like, because 65 and 70 was the age that was we saw as completely you retire out of your. But cultural understanding is important. Some other things, I think, when you are bridging, especially Japan, India, as practical entrepreneurs, SMEs, mid-sized companies, I think is maintaining, ensuring who is the decision maker, especially on the Japan side as well as India side. In Japan side, there is good part is there is continuity. You talk to Tanaka-san, Tanaka-san will be there for next 3 years when you are talking. If you work with Indian companies, you start talking with Pankaj, and then 3 months later, some Shiva will come, and he says that, now Pankaj is gone to other project, and I'm Shiva. And 2 weeks later, Swati or Prachi will come and say that I'm now the project manager, and who are you, and what kind of services you give us. So you have to, both sides, when you're working, you have to mention that. Feedback mechanism, when you're working with Japan companies, many times they'll not give active feedback. No feedback is, like no news is good news, they say, but here it's bad. Because if there's no feedback, means you're not getting seen, or there is a wrong perception. So it's better to reconfirm your understanding, gain significant feedbacks. Scheduling and like each country has a different way of working, understanding that. I think these slides would be available, so later you can take that. Personally, every time I go to India these days, there's a huge change. As Sumnesh-san mentioned, Indian infrastructure is changing. I think their high-tech, our security guard, the maid, everybody, how they interact using their mobile, I think it's completely different. They use voice, they use text. I think, so Japan also helps. While there are various A's for digital collaboration, I think manufacturing, especially smart manufacturing, etc., India can leverage Japan. There are a lot of senior citizens in Japan who come from manufacturing, who are retired. their pensions start from 65 or 70, these could be taken to India, and Indian manufacturing, especially from the training perspective, reskilling perspective, can be helped. I think, again, there's a lot happening between Japan and India. Homma-san is also investing. Some kind of a India-Japan digital corridor can be established. 100,000, 200,000 USD kind of grants can be given to research, small startups, and I think, I personally believe Japan, India, there's a lot of potential. These are far extremes. While they are getting revived, regional economies in ASEAN also can be helped out. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Sunil-san. So I'd like to ask the Homma-san. So now we got the insight from Sunil-san from the Indian national perspective, how to collaborate with Japan, but vice versa. So because Homma-san, you have a lot of LP, limited partners, the Japanese banks, Japanese manufacturers, different companies. Some of the LP limited partners are interested in or collaborate with the Indian startups. If so, how should Japanese company adapting their approaches in India? Or do you have any success story for this?
Okay. I think in the corporate venture capital with SMBC is, I think, in the really good example to the how the India and Japan the partnership corridor will be developed. Many of the mega bank, including the SMBC, not necessarily SMBC, has a very strong intention to go beyond Japan's market already. Of course, their initial target is Southeast Asia because of the distance and let's say time horizon. But initially, they're growing more allocation to the India, given that the advancement of the technology in the first sense. Of course, there is the UPI, Aadhaar, and many of the really let's say sophisticated technology stack out there. And also the core team of the founder and the startup is also far better than the founder and the startup in the elsewhere. So with this, I think that many of the, let's say, mega bank and SMBs really believe in the power of the technology of the startup they're creating. They also the investing of some acquire the local, the commercial bank and the franchisee already to spur the new business creation inside India. Is there, of course, a first target to get into the, let's say, get into and cultivate the middle class growth for the coming 10 years, 10 years and 20 years and over. It's, of course, the initial intention. But at the same time, these companies are gradually finding out the fact that this established technology is also can be used for the domestic Japan's market to enhance their service level, to increase the customer revenue per customer, or even dig further to enhance the whole let's say their banking business and lending business for the domestic market. So that's the two-way in the large enterprise like SMBC can utilize. Also, I think that this could be very true for the other industry in the large enterprise as well. I think all the story about Suzuki Maruti is a bit, I think, in the very good example, but we need more next Suzuki Maruti and the third Suzuki Maruti, I think. Then the banking sector is, I think, could be the second. The Suzuki Maruti is really most likely that they are very active. And the other way is, as I said, that the AI or some other advanced technology is going to be the key to connect, let's say, both corridor in India, Japan. I think AI is one of them, the way to connect them. And also the space technology or telecommunication is given that some sort of the influence put over the India and Japan because of the US and China tension is gradually being tightened, and also the thing that such communication and telecommunication, how we manage the data is more important to be settled between the trusted relationship in the two market and two country. So such the technology touch on the national security and trade security will gain more importance for the both of the, I think, in the market and the countries.
I see. Thank you very much. And time is limited, so before we close, I'd like to, considering the time, maybe we can take one open question from the audience. So, does anyone burning question from the audience? Okay, so please.
So, hello everyone, I'm Vijay. I live in Japan. I'm doing my business in Japan. So this is a question I'm facing, in Japan. Like, what is the role of startups, especially in India? What is the role of, the startup is, playing important role to build this technology? Because I keep getting the questions, why India is, when it comes to technology, why we are super rich? So I just want to get the answer from, yeah.
So, see, of course, as I've already mentioned, many, incubation centers or labs, and, the government is, taking proactive step to, promote the startups right from the, graduation, the post-graduation. And, so much of facilitation we are doing because this government, right, believe in the entrepreneurship, right? It's not the job. Everyone should create the job. So, full facilities to the startup with the new technology and the kind of stack we have created. So there's a lot of scope for the innovation. And even the Japan, India, I want to take the 10 second, because for example, Internet of Things and the 5G, Japan is using so beautifully all the sensor-based technology, not only the fintech or maybe the manufacturing industries or any other service industry. So we can, collaborate and, generate, more innovative methods for the service delivery or to enhance the quality of the product or the application. So there's a huge scope. India and Japan, win-win situation, we can collaborate and do a lot.
Thank you very much. And before we close, so I'd like to invite each of our panelists to share one final thought. So, the one key message or one piece of advice you'd like to leave the audience. So yes, please, one by one.
Yeah. So simply, please come to India, huge market, and digital ecosystem is awaiting for you. Please create innovation with India together. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, my view in the Japan's investment to the India is definitely the far underserved. As the ambassador mentioned that we need more number to make the good collaboration or the new innovation happens from the both of the country. So for most likely for the Japanese enterprise and the investor to do more investment in the India market.
These are very interesting times, and if you are working and considering entrepreneurship, please jump into entrepreneurship. Japan, India, both are exciting. One is a mature economy, one is a growing economy. Both require different services, solutions. Anything is required. So these are very interesting times. Please do visit Japan if you are visiting from overseas, and India, of course, is growing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Great insight, and then thank you very much for being this conversation. And then yes, so digital infrastructure is ready, and the government really support, and the investment is coming more and more. And then maybe you can have more entrepreneurship. So let's keep collaborating. Let's keep innovating. Keep it positive. Yes. So thank you very much for this conversation. Danya Award. ありがとうございました。